this Village of Greenhills Council meeting to order for March 23rd, 2021. Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Halter?
Here.
Ms. Hermes?
Here.
Mr. Lee?
Here.
Ms. Metz?
Here.
Ms. Osmanagud?
Here.
Ms. Walter?
Here.
And Mayor Moore.
Here. We have a prayer by Maria.
Loving Heavenly Father, we come to you this hour asking for your blessings and help as we are gathered together. We pray for guidance in the matters at hand and ask that you would clearly show us how to conduct our work with a spirit of joy and enthusiasm. Give us a desire to find ways to excel in our work. Help us work together and encourage each other to excellence. We ask that we would challenge each other to reach higher and further to be the best we can be. We ask this in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have minutes of the previous two council meetings, the council meeting of February 23rd and the work session of March 9th. Do we have any corrections? Hearing none, the minutes stand as approved. All right, we have no public presentation. Residents to address council. This is the time to comment on matters before council. When recognized, please come forward to the lectern, give your name and address, and state your comments and questions. This is not intended to be a dialogue with council or village staff. If you have questions, the questions will be recorded and referred to the manager's office for response. This will allow time for thoughtful and thorough consideration to be given to each question. Council meetings are recorded for ease of transcriptions. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. Speakers may not yield any or all of their time to other speakers. Okay, nothing. Reports of village officials. Municipal Manager Yvonne Kovac.
Thank you, Mayor. I do have a number of items to go through with you tonight. First one is Winton Road. It's nearing completion. Our lights are up. I'm sure you've noticed that. And now they're working on the emergency lights. That, in fact, they were doing the wiring in the building today. They go to the antenna, that'll go to the radar, and so that whole process is wrapping up. And when that is done, then the construction signs that are still in place on Damon and Cromwell, and I don't know if Farragut and Ingram still have them, but those will disappear. But they still have some concrete to pour and things like that. So it's very, very close to being done. Spring leaf collection is going to go for about 2 weeks this year, right after Easter. Leaves will start being collected the 5th through the 16th. So again, that's usually one shot per week. This time we'll do 2 weeks to collect those leaves. We are hoping to do the community yard sale this year. That will be on June 5th. I did submit a COVID plan to the county, waiting to hear back from them if it's okay to go. And if so, we'll start advertising that. Yeah, I was trying to think. I know there's 2 things I have getting into the journal this month. That would be one of them, if they okay that plan. I don't know if they actually started or if they'll be starting tomorrow. We'll be having another round of tree removals and tree pruning. We'll be actually be doing a little bit more pruning this time, this particular go-round. That'll be starting up soon. The tax filing deadline. As you know, the feds have changed theirs to May 15, 30 days. The state has not. As of today, the state has not. So local and state taxes will still be due on April 15th. So it's going to be a little confusing, but we do have it on our sign board, and we'll keep getting information out if that changes. And I'm sure Rita will as well, but right now that's where it stands. In that regard, I do want to mention the American Rescue Plan that the president has now signed off on. We don't have any official word on the dollar amount we're going to be received. We've heard rumors, but none of those are official. And in fact, we heard maybe townships were left out, so they're going to be going back and recalculating that. But I do see that as a pretty big topic for us to discuss at the retreat. You have to begin with a economic recovery plan for your entire community, and build a lot of different components into that. So we'll work together as a group on that. And also then that will be an agenda item at the work session. I've been working with the mayor on the agenda. If any of you have topics that you want to discuss, let either of us know, get word to us so we can finalize the agenda. And that's what I have for now.
Comments or questions?
I just wanted to make a comment. I go every day to water the flower pot there. There's a section of that pole for the lights, for the new lights. It has an aperture there, and you can see the wires through there.
Is this a new poll?
Yes.
Okay, they're probably
They're
still working on it.
still working on that,
Mhm,
okay.
yes. Thank you, though. I'll mention it to them, but they are still.
Well, I saw that some wires were yellow and some wires were white, and I figured I better say something.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks.
I did also have a question. I know that we, at some point, we're going to go back to edging the sidewalks or grinding the sidewalks. Is that-
Yes,
I did notice at the top of Bossy, it's not Greenhills, they're marked blue.
right.
Okay.
We told him,
Okay.
so they'll
Okay, just
not do
checking.
those.
Thank you.
Okay. Law Director Jeff Forbes.
Thank you, Mayor. There's a written report in your packet, which was pretty brief. It referenced Senate Bill 22, which was that bill that was going to provide some legislative oversight over the governor and health department orders. And in my report, I said it's anticipated that the governor will veto that bill. And about 2 hours ago, he did. So that bill has been vetoed, but that just means it'll now be sent back to the Senate to see if they have enough votes to override the veto. And if it does, then it'll go to the House for the same process to see if they have enough votes to override the veto. But as of, just a few hours ago, he did officially veto that bill. And that's all I have tonight.
Okay. All right. Clerk of Council, Tanya Kolar.
No report.
Okay. Chief of Police, Neil Bergerman.
Thank you, Mayor. Earlier this month, you met new officer Zach Braun. Just about an hour ago, I left a young man by the name of Blake Mayberry, who will be joining our force on April the 5th. He's been offered employment. He was actually getting fitted for some uniforms. So we're very pleased to welcome him. I believe he's going to be a very quality candidate and make an excellent officer for our community. We do have in our monthly report, and it's also on our website, a pretty comprehensive list of avoiding scam phone calls, and that outlines the various types of scam phone calls. The proliferation of those calls is just horrific, and I'm sure you have received them either on your cell phones or your home phones, and we offer some pretty steady advice on those. As soon as you identify that as one of the ones we've talked about, it could include the IRS, someone in your family has an emergency problem with one of your accounts at the bank, you have an outstanding warrant, we're sending you $5,000, but we cut the check wrong and we need some upfront money, you won, whatever gift it might be. Our very non-specific advice is hang up. So we have some details on some of these calls, and they're very generic scams, and they are occurring throughout the country, but certainly throughout our community. Anyone that might be listening in that would like some details on those, please check out our website or call us if you need any details. We do have a rather exciting occurrence yet this week. On Thursday, we will be testifying virtually rather than in person before the Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies. This will culminate in 14 years of accredited status, we hope, we anticipate, before the Commission. So we're looking forward to testifying before the Commissioners, and they will be going over the report submitted by our assessors who met with us virtually again in December. In terms of criminal statistics, we made 3 criminal arrests this past month, including an arrest for an aggravated robbery and possession of drugs. We responded to 127 incidents, including 21 squad runs, 7 suspicious persons, 7 lockouts, 4 intrusion alarms, 4 noise complaints, 3 domestic trouble calls, and 3 parking complaints. We provided mutual aid to our surrounding communities in 13 instances. We issued 24 traffic citations, 39 warnings, and investigated 4 traffic crashes. That's what I have, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Any comments or questions? All right. I have the court receipts for the month of February. We sent $1,453 to the state of Ohio, $54 to the Hamilton County, and $6,004.60 to the village of Greenhills. And also I've got issued 3 proclamations to referencing Eagle Scouts, and I'll just read one of them. To obtain the highest honor in scouting, the Eagle Scout must complete numerous demanding requirements. And whereas these requirements including obtaining at least 21 merit badges exhibiting the scouting spirit, serving in leadership roles in planning, developing and providing leadership during the execution of the Eagle Scout project, the Eagle Scout sets an example for other scouts by exhibiting a duty to God, country, family, and self by adhering to the Boy Scout law of being trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. Now therefore I, David Moore, Mayor of the Village of Greenhills of Ohio, do declare and hereby honor and congratulate. And the first kid that we're doing this for is Eric Biedenbach Jr., who lives in Greenhills, Justin Michael Becker, and Nolan R. Honkamp, I think, Honkomp. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. So it's good to see that we have at least 3 more Eagle Scouts in the neighborhood. And that's all I have. All right, moving on, Finance and Audit, Jack Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. In my rush to get out the door, I left my finance folder sitting squarely in the middle of my desk, so I apologize for not having that in possession. The income tax receipts for the month of February, which Deb had sent out to all of us, showed a remarkable, sizable increase over the month of February, or month of January. But I've been led to believe that in March it's trending back down. So we're kind of in a roller coaster here for a while till things level out. But by the end of February, things were looking pretty good. So that's all I have to report at this time.
Okay. Community Development, Jeff Halter.
Yes, thanks, Mr. Mayor. I don't know if I have enough for everybody. The plan for community development, we have to look at an alternative to our typical Cleanup Greenhills Day. And so one thing that we're looking to do is on Saturday, April 17th at 9 a.m. and at noon, we will be conducting a reimagined version of Greenhills Community Cleanup Day. Rather than gathering in large groups, we're inviting you to step out and do some good by picking up litter in the vicinity of your home or to spend time at the larger public areas if you prefer. Unlike previous cleanup days where we gathered in large groups to clean up our community, the Community Development Committee needed to think through how to move forward given our recent COVID situation. In other words, what does a responsible restart mean for annual events like this? In past cleanup Greenhills events, our village benefited from your participation as well as a number of groups such as students in need of service hours. This scenario is not prudent, so we are asking our residents and local groups to participate in a fun new way. Our committee is planning to deliver a reminder in small biodegradable, I'll get that out, trash bag for this brief cleanup and do good day. Consider cleaning up areas such as playgrounds and pocket parks around the pool or other commons while respecting and distancing from those around you. No trash to pick up in your area. I kind of doubt that after this winter, but it could be so. Then consider what other good things you could do for 20 minutes. A call to say hi or to check in on an elderly neighbor would be appreciated. The only rule is to care for your community, your neighbors, and the place we call home for a mere 20 minutes. Remember to take some photos and send in your experiences from this event to the village office, and we'll post them on the village website. We all can use a little encouragement these days, and one of the ways we can do that is keep our community a great place to live. 20 minutes of good, well, I'm hoping to have 20 minutes of good spotters while randomly being recognized for your efforts, so we'll have some people driving around. We're looking to have a couple handout gifts for those that we can see in the process of picking up. This is an opportunity for us to model social responsibility and community pride to ourselves and to the next generation. Gear up for good on Saturday, April 17th, 9 a.m. and noon. And again, I just recommend, do what you can and put this to use however you can. So if you can't get outside, there's plenty you can do by reaching out to others. So that's what we're targeting for community development. We also do have on the books, we're trying to pull together a spring, summer, and fall acknowledgement of a property that is well kept, and we'll have a sign for them, but more to come on that later. The other piece of information from community development is our next meeting is on April 20th at 1 p.m. And that concludes my report.
Good. All right, Recreation Cable Television, Natasha Metz.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Waycross had a meeting on March 10th, which I unfortunately was not able to attend. However, I did get some of the information from them still, and they provided their 2020 annual report, which just showed some great numbers as far as broadcasting and the things that they're providing. So if anybody wants to see that, I've got a copy I can share. In addition, I wanted to mention that they were recognized by Forest Park as the February Business of the Month. So that was just a great little recognition for Waycross. So good job for them. And only update I have for recreation is that our next meeting is, what was that date, Jeff? April
It's April
20th.
20th.
at 2 p.m.
And also, since you've asked, I forgot to hold up, this
Thank
is
you.
the community day for the 20 minutes of.
I have a question. Did you get Chip's email about we need to reappoint Eric Lane?
Yes.
Okay, so do we want to do a motion on that then later?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, Intergovernmental Affairs, Laws and Rules, Maria Walter.
Well, we met last month, and the result of that is going to be the two new business items that we have, ordinances, both of them. Our next meeting will be on the 27th of April at 6 p.m.
Okay. All right, Service and Streets, Jennifer Osmanago.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We had our meeting in March, and we looked at a few things that we're still kind of going over. So I think the main thing is be responsible as a neighbor and a citizen, because I got a lot of complaints that we were kind of going over and we're kind of looking at things, and it's just personal responsibility for your property and your street, and it's where you live. And I think it's kind of echoing this 20 minutes of good. It's just nice to have a nice place to live, and we all have to be responsible for that. So I just echo, doing good things for your own yard, your neighbor's yard, and especially with trash and stuff like that. If you see a piece of trash, pick it up. We're trying to look at some things, but it takes everybody to contribute. Yeah, definitely. So, thanks. Just, care about your neighbors and yourself and your yard and your litter and everything else. So, thanks.
All right, safety, Melanie Hermes.
Our next meeting will be April 27th at 5:30 before Laws and Rules. We did meet last week. One of the things is the Fire's Easter egg hunt will be on Easter Sunday at 2 o'clock. Blink and you'll miss it. Get there early or don't bother. It's quick, but they'll be making to do things safely, and hopefully the weather will be nice.
Can I ask you, do you know the age cutoff for the egg?
No, I don't know if there is one, or I'm thinking,
Well, I don't remember.
I'm thinking, for some reason, 8's sticking in my head, but I don't know why, and I don't know if it's this Easter egg hunt, or if it was another one that I used to be a part of, so, we'll have that on the website once it gets clarified.
My 12-year-old was concerned that there was a cutoff.
There might not be. I know that they have the youngest kids on one side, and then they get taller as you go down, so I just don't know. We might have it by the end of this meeting,
Yeah,
based on the furious texting over to my right.
yeah.
But we'll make sure it's posted on the website.
Do they also have information on the website about what they're doing as far as safety and such?
Not
So
yet.
people feel comfortable for bringing their kids?
Not yet.
Okay.
They'll be there.
But the eggs should all be picked up by 2 minutes after 2.
Okay.
It
I don't
goes
know if my
fast.
daughter moves that fast, but we'll see.
All right, we have no unfinished business. New business, ordinance number 2021-01-LNR, ordinance enacting and adopting a supplement to the Code of Ordinances for the Village of Greenhills. And this is something we do annually, updating our ordinances to comply with state changes and ordinances that we pass. Ms. Walter?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is ordinance number 2021-01-LNR, an ordinance enacting and adopting a supplement to the Code of Ordinances for the Village of Greenhills, Ohio. Whereas American Legal Publishing Corporation of Cincinnati, Ohio has completed the 2021 supplement of the Code of Ordinances of the Village of Greenhills, which supplement contains all ordinances of a general and permanent nature enacted since the prior supplement of the Code of Greenhills. And whereas American Legal Publishing Corporation has recommended the revision or addition of certain sections of the Code of Ordinances which are based on or make reference to sections of the Ohio Revised Code. And whereas it is the intent of the council to accept these updated sections in accordance with the changes of the law of the state of Ohio, and whereas it is necessary to provide for the usual daily operations of the municipality. Now therefore, be it ordained by the Council of the Village of Greenhills, Ohio, Section 1, that the 2021 supplement of the Code of Ordinances of Greenhills are submitted by American Legal Publishing Corporation of Cincinnati, Ohio, be and the same time is hereby adopted by reference as if set out in this entirety. Section 2, such supplement shall be deemed published as of the day of its adoption and approval by the council, and the clerk of council of Greenhills is hereby authorized and ordered to insert such supplement into the copy of the Code of Ordinances kept on file in the office of the clerk. Section 3, this ordinance shall be in full force and take effect upon its passage. And Mr. Mayor, I move to adopt this ordinance.
First reading.
First reading.
Oh, this is a first reading only?
Yeah.
I'm so
Well-
sorry.
It is an ordinance, and it requires 2 readings unless you make a motion to suspend the rule requiring
Oh, okay,
a
I'm so
second
sorry, I'm sorry. So this will be then redone again next month again to
Right.
be
Yes.
totally adopted the next time then? Okay,
Yes.
I'm sorry. An ordinance number 2021-02 LNR, amending Chapter 351 of the Codified Ordinance of the Village of Greenhills to adopt regulations regarding the parking of inoperable vehicles. Whereas Chapter 351 of the Codified Ordinance regulates parking generally in the village, and whereas Chapter 351 does not adequately regulate the parking of inoperable vehicles, and whereas council has determined that such regulations would be in the best interest of the village, now therefore be it ordained by the Council of the Village of Greenhills, Ohio, members elected thereto concurring. Section 1, that the Council of the Village of Greenhills hereby amends Chapter 351 of the Codified Ordinances in order to enact Section 351, period 19, as set forth in Exhibit A, attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference. Section 2, that the remaining provisions of Chapter 351 shall remain in full force and effect. And Section 3, that this ordinance will be and is effective from and after the earliest period allowed by law. This is also first reading.
All right. And do I need to have Natasha do a motion? We need to
Motion to amend.
make that part of the agenda?
Do I motion to amend before I motion to appoint?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so I make a motion to add the appointment of trustees of the Community Programming Board, Regional Council of Governments, and CPB Holdings, Inc.
I second it.
Thank you.
Okay, been moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to appoint Eric Lane to the role of trustee for Community Programming Board, Regional Council of Governments, and to CPB Holdings, Inc. He is would be the trustee from Greenhills. Yeah.
Second?
Second?
Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, all right. We've reappointed Eric Lane.
Mr. Mayor, in the past, I used to collect the topics for the retreat. As President Pro Tem, do you still want me to do that this time?
Well, just have them go ahead and send them in to me.
To you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. All right. We still having an executive session?
Yes.
Okay, at this time, we're going to go into executive session regarding imminent court action. We need a motion.
I was going to say, do we anticipate any action after that? Or should we do can I move the calendar up? I make a motion to move the calendar up.
Second.
Yeah, go ahead and move the calendar.
Okay. I would just a reminder that Easter egg hunt on April 4th at 2 p.m.
They told me
And stay tuned to the website for additional information on age limits and safety precautions.
all right.
April 17th for community development at 1 p.m. I'm sorry, not April 17th. 20th. And April 17th for 20 minutes of good.
Yep. Recreation, April 20th at 2 p.m.
April 27, laws and rules at 6.
April 27th, safety at 5:30.
April 10th retreat.
April's a big month for us.
Okay, now we need a motion to go into executive session.
Mr. Mayor, I move to go into executive session
For purposes.
for purposes of, what I just said,
Imminent.
Imminent lawsuit.
imminent lawsuit.
Second?
Okay, it's been moved and second. Clerk, call the roll.
All right, Mr. Lee,
Aye.
Ms. Hermes,
Aye.
Ms. Metz,
Aye.
Ms. Walton,
Aye.
Ms. O'Connell,
Aye.
Mr. Halter.
Aye.
Okay.